Welcome to episode 1 of the Infinity One podcast. I'm Zeus Hernandez, and I'm here with my co-founder DJ and close friend at UCLA. We're the founders of Infinity Development, which is a forward-thinking and purpose-driven real estate development firm, and we're building what we call the Infinity One conglomerate. Today's episode is all about who we are, why we started this, and where we aim to go in the future. Before we bring on any guests or dive deep into real estate development, venture capital, we wanted to set the tone by first sharing our story, where we come from, and where we go from here. So starting off, my name is Zeus Hernandez. I am a UCLA student. I am a third-year international development studies major, and I'm a first-generation student. I come from an immigrant background. My parents, they are from Mexico. We had a low-income upbringing. And the reason I got into real estate in the first place was because back during the 2008 GFC, the housing crash, my family ended up losing our home, right? And it was a difficult period because we had to move and whatnot. And it was just really hard. And after that, my parents, they said you need to get into real estate and study the market, study what caused this, and just slowly start getting into it. So that's what really started it. I would say that my entrepreneurial journey started because of my parents. They came from Mexico, and coming from Mexico with nothing, they left their entire family to start anew and give the best life possible for me so that I could make a change and inspire so many other individuals across the world. So I would say I get my entrepreneurial niche from them. And after that, it's just been a go. I've been involved in sports my entire life. Sports drives a lot of my fuel. And then obviously I'm a builder at heart. I like building things. I like helping other people succeed, collaborating with others such as DJ and other friends who I have back at school and other operators who are, big in the industry. So we also started this podcast just to, get more credibility, establish ourselves in the field, and let other people know who we are. At 20 years old, my roommate and I, we started a dropshipping business. It was profitable, but not to the point where we wanted it to be. So that helped a lot. We learned a lot, but it wasn't enough to, say that I could do this full time. And I always had this passion for real estate, doing something tangible and leaving a legacy on this world. So that's where it is. That's why I'm obsessed with the legacy, because I want to help others, inspire others, leave change in the world, and ultimately just, be the best that I can be. So real estate itself, it can be a vehicle for wealth, but the mission, it's bigger than wealth, as one would say. We want to inspire communities, leave change, leave a positive impact on the world and what we're going to be remembered for. And this is why we're building it, to give to others what our families didn't have. So now I'll let DJ talk a little bit about him and where he's coming from.
Yeah, thank you, Zeus. I just really appreciate you having started this podcast with me. I've known Zeus for since freshman year of high school. Mm-hmm. We went to high school together, started out playing basketball together. We had in high school, man, it was a lot of long nights, early mornings in the gym. We used to really get after it. But I think for me, I was born in Vallejo, California. I live in Fairfield. I went to high school with Zeus, and I think my first real introduction to this real estate industry was really just watching TV with my mom. Mm-hmm. She was really big into luxury home real estate shows. And I was just super intrigued kind of by that broker world initially. And that was kind of my first introduction. My whole family a lot of the males do labor, work in construction or something like that. And that was kind of my introduction to that building process aspect of real estate development. And for me, as I came into college, I initially was really into the finance aspect world. And what kind of transitioned my love for real estate was just my passion for helping my community in the housing crisis. Especially in the Bay Area, there's a lot of need for low-income housing. The Bay Area has a lot of issues with gentrification, especially in the San Francisco area, extreme rent prices. And I'm glad that rent control is kind of coming into that area, and it's been. But for me, that was kind of just really wanting to help serve my community. And, my mom as a single mom, kind of seeing her struggle with housing and rent, and eventually getting to home ownership, which I'm so proud that we are able to get to that position.
Congrats, bro.
Just
awesome.
Seeing my mom, really try her best and kind of almost love real estate in a sense. And that's kind of what inspired me. And in college, some of the things I'm really a part of is I'm a men's basketball manager for our UCLA men's basketball team. That's basically my main extracurricular, getting just to learn a lot about the industry. And I think one of the coolest things that I've learned too, outside of basketball itself, is just how much athletes either post-career or in their career are going into the venture space. I know there's a lot of NFL athletes getting into real estate development, getting into the real estate space or venture space. And I think just being able to see athletes become financially literate and smart with their money has been awesome to see, especially with, this NIL space in college. It's created a whole new system in itself. So I do that. And obviously just me and Zeus have been working really hard at this real estate space with Infinity One in real estate development. And we got obviously the great chance to go to an affordable housing conference last week at UCLA.
That was amazing.
Which was, it was awesome, man.
Yeah.
And I think for me, I have a large passion for helping my community, especially my Black and brown communities in the Bay Area, coming from where I come from, and just helping those around me. I have real passion for just serving youth as well, becoming a leader for youth and becoming a great role model to see that all people can eventually come to success and chase their dreams. And I think me and Zeus really decided to come together and kind of co-found this Infinity One group is just our shared vision, our shared hunger. Mm-hmm. I think it really started for us back in high school when we were playing basketball. At that time, I was really passionate about playing in college. And Zeus, I feel like, was just always somebody to be there with me, to work out with me, to push myself. And kind of we've had that same hunger ever since high school, just in the basketball world.
Yeah.
I think coming together for both our shared passion and for real estate has allowed me to see that Zeus is a partner that I can really depend on. He's somebody that's going to go 110% full steam ahead at anything we want to go after, and just inspire me and also hold me accountable. Today, I just really want to build power for the people that come from low income, underserved communities, and be able to just create systems and platforms that are going to help these lower income communities in the future.
That's amazing. Thank you. Thank you for that. So I also agree with DJ about everything he said. We've known each other since the start of his freshman year in high school basketball, and we always had the same passion, the same hunger. We wanted to become the best in whatever we did. So we pushed ourselves. We held each other accountable. We had a few classes together, and eventually now in college, we're both at UCLA. We found this passion for real estate, and we talked about it a lot last year, more this year. And then I would say these past few months, we've really had deep conversations as to what we want to do with our lives, how we can impact others, because that's the biggest thing, what legacy we can leave on the world, and what is something big that we can create that's going to be remembered. We look at other corporate giants, other conglomerates, other, guys who've actually left an impact on the world, like Richard Branson, XYZ. It's how do we get to that position? How do we emulate them? While at the same time being purpose-driven, being impactful, and leaving a true legacy in the world that is going to change people, inspire others, and just help change the world. So that is why we're here. And it also comes back to a lot of the alignment of values. Like DJ and I, we share a lot of the same values. We both value freedom, helping others, being purpose-driven, being innovative, tapping into new markets, and whatever it is. So I'm just glad that I can share this platform with him, and that we're starting this, even though it is really difficult, but we have the same vision, the same hunger, and the same passion, and I know it's going to get done, whatever it takes. So now moving on, I do want to talk about Infinity development and what it is that we're doing, where we aim to be and whatnot. So Infinity One, it is the longer term goal of owning multiple ventures such as Infinity Ventures, energy, health, sports, space, nonprofits, etc. But right now it's how do we get to that level? You need to start somewhere. You need to have focus in whatever you want to do. So right now we have a passion for real estate, both of us. And then we said, okay, what aspect of real estate do you have a passion for? Do you like Airbnbs? Do you like doing fix and flips? Do you like wholesaling and whatnot? All those are super interesting. We found a passion in development because it's fun. You incorporate a lot of different aspects. You're wearing a lot of different hats. No day's the same. And at the end of the day, besides the capital and the money that you're going to make, you're going to leave an impact on communities and the world. as DJ said, you get to help like low income housing people. You get to build these huge projects, sustainable projects too. And it's just amazing the power that development can have in the world. So that's why we're starting with an Infinity Development. It's going to be our core focus right now. It's real estate development with an edge. We're going to be impact focused, high returns, legacy aligned, all the while being innovative and seeing how we can use new technologies and incorporate it into an old industry, right? Because real estate itself, like other industries, like the logistics business, they're quote unquote old industries. So it's like, how do we apply new technologies, new innovation to old industries while at the same time being impact driven and purpose driven and leaving a legacy on people? So DJ, you can just expand a little bit more on that.
Yeah, exactly. I really liked what Zeus said about, we're starting where our passion lies, which started in real estate. That's where we really first came together and aligned. And I think understanding that we're very passionate about this, but, we have a lot to learn. We're starting young, and really we just want to learn. We want to empower people, and we want to get people that have similar values, similar mindsets as us to come in and help us and really help build our mission and build this Infinity Development Foundation that we're starting with. And I will say also just really getting into those infill and residential projects, scaling into those mixed use projects and industrial. I think what's great about development is so creative. There's so many different ways that you can create housing, whether it's multifamily, ADUs, residential, and all different areas across the country. And I think being able to have such a wide range of variety and being able to just be creative and pull together so many different groups of people in all different industries, it's really exciting. I think there's definitely a market for that we can fill for middle market use, residential, affordable housing and things like that. And I think for us, we're really starting early because we have a vision, we have a passion. In this age of social media, I think just us, being in our early 20s, I haven't even hit 21 yet. So just being able to, be here early and share our thoughts, share our experiences, and share where we want to go and how we want to help our communities and help the world, I think is key to show people that, we care about helping our community and that we're passionate about it, and we're going to do whatever it takes to get to this point in our careers that we hope to be at with Infinity Development, Infinity One. And yeah. That's
amazing. That's so amazing. So I would just talk a little bit about more the longer term vision that we have. We want to be more than just developers, right? Because a lot of the development space, it's filled for developments that are just like capital focused, right? And returns focused. And there is a gap in the market. I've spoken to countless developers that want to do projects that are sustainable and impact driven at the same time. And the banks are not going to give you money for doing something that helps people. It's really, really hard to access capital in that way, especially now in this environment that we're facing with the tariffs and like the high interest rates and like all these different things, especially in LA, NIMBYism and like all these things. There's so many different issues around development. So it's like, how do we get around that? How do we partner with the right people? What can we bring to the table in terms of like our skill sets, our modeling, our hard work, our tenacity, our sweat equity and whatnot, to partner with the right operators, the right developers, to then work on something that is going to be innovative at the same time while also being purpose-driven and helping the community. So last week, I had the opportunity to speak to a developer who is doing projects on sustainability and actually building a community, that's going to be efficiently run well and being purpose-driven all at the same time. A lot of these developments, as I mentioned before, they are focused only on getting like returns, right? Like what's going to be your IRR after X years, or what's going to be your cash on cash returns, like what's going to be your exit strategy after 5 years and whatnot. But they're leaving out the core aspects of like actually changing the community, doing projects for good work and being sustainable all at the same time, because sustainability is huge. Like LA is facing a massive energy shortage, partly due to the fact that near in the South Bay, I would say there is a lot of industries that are using a lot of energy, such as the aerospace industry, and we're at a need for large data centers, but there's no land in LA, Right. So it's like, how do we build that? How do we become more efficient? And the way that we can help out that case would be by doing energy efficient projects, doing sustainable projects, but incorporating that with being purpose driven, that's a challenge. But there's a gap in the market. How do we fill that? How do we partner with the right people? So that's something we want to do for sure. And also more on from a global perspective. So as I said, I come from a Hispanic background. So I know a lot of developers and operators in Mexico and Argentina that are doing great work. And it's like, how can I help them? How can I also help my community and expand on there? Because in Mexico, there is much need for development. Mexico, it's one of those countries that needs a lot of help. And like, I really just have a passion for helping others and leaving an impact on the community. So that's where it stems from, my passion for doing developments that are not only going to be here in LA, but also on an international level, such as Mexico and Argentina and whatnot. So if DJ can expand a little bit more just on what we're doing right now and a lot of that stuff, that'd be helpful.
Yeah, thanks, Zeus. I think a big thing is just we want Infinity One to outlive us and be broader than just where we come from in our areas eventually. I think, just being from the United States and even from California, such a diverse state, there's multiple groups of people that come from all around the world. And, they obviously everybody has a reason for being here. And I think being able to serve multiple communities that maybe don't have the resources to have a sustainable and a healthy and a safe community, both in the US and globally, we want to help that market however best we can. And like Zeus said, talking about Mexico and Latin America, there's a lot of issues with, those countries and government setup and things like that. But I think being able to help those areas and give back to the communities where we come from, Zeus coming from Mexico and my family coming from Puerto Rico, I think just being able to serve those lineages that we come from and being able to connect with our communities, connect with our heritage, I think is really important for us. And development and real estate are an entry point for us, especially in these other countries and other regions. There's a need for wellness, for energy, and for better education. I think there's a lot of ways that Infinity One can help provide this with partnerships, with joint ventures, collaborating with government officials and things like that.
Yeah.
I think also a key part to our group as well is just getting to have mentors and young hunger entrepreneurs and also the older, more seasoned veterans in these spaces to really come together, learn from one another, be mentors to one another, and create opportunities. The generations before us have set up so many great systems, but there's also young entrepreneurs, such as you, Zeus, such as other people that have great ideas and want to build and also change what has been set up already. And be able to create these healthy conversations with these people, which we hope to also accomplish on this podcast as well, is going to be really key.
That's amazing. That's so good. Back to that point you said, like partnering with other people, getting mentors and whatnot. Real estate itself, business itself, and life itself, it's all relationship based. You can't do anything by your own. If you're going to do something by yourself, you're going to be successful, but you're not going to go as fast as if you went with a team or with other people who are aligned in values, who have shared the same passion and the same hunger, Right. So it's like, how do we partner with the right people? How do we get into the right groups and whatnot? And I want to bring this back to an issue that LA is facing right now, which is the recent wildfires that happened. No one knows exactly what to do. There's a lot of issues concerning that part of LA, and there's a lot of moving parts all at the same time. And there's been countless, I would say, events that I've been to in different chats that I've heard different people talk. And it's a cluster. It's a clutter right now, you guys. It's so many different issues, so many infrastructure issues. Like there's just so many issues surrounding the recent wildfires that happened. And right now we're at a need where everyone needs to come together. All the 88 cities, they need to come together and work as one cohesive unit. Right. And it's like, how do we, DJ and I and people who want to join us, how do we also garner that same attention and help, not help, but get other people to come join us for what we want to do? Because there is a gap in the market. There's people right now who are homeless, people who need more affordable housing, people who are in need of energy efficient homes and whatnot. And that's what we want to do to start off our venture. So how do we get into the right circles, meet with the right people, and just provide the right value at our age? We feel like we're doing it right. It's just a matter of, it all takes time, as one said. Like real estate itself, you're not going to make fast money in real estate. It's money that's going to be made, but it's going to take time. So it's just a matter of building the relationships and establishing ourselves as people who are credible, people who you can trust. We are trustworthy people. We've known each other for a long time, but it's a matter of bringing the reality, as AJ said, that we have into the now. So how do we do that? And that's by executing on our current plan and knowing the narrow focused vision as to what we want to accomplish. So
if I could interject real quick, Zeus.
Of course.
I want to say I really want to, give a shout out to Mayor Rex Richardson. He's doing a great job in Long Beach with affordable housing, with creating jobs in that market. And I think he's a great example of how Los Angeles County is coming together to create opportunities for its citizens. And I agree with you, like the 88 cities do need to come together to address this housing issue. And we were fortunate enough to hear a lot of different ideas, what's in motion, what needs to change in different perspectives at the meeting with LABC's 23rd annual mayoral housing summit. And I think there's a lot of great minds, great skill with people with the resources that will help LA turn into this, help kind of solve this housing crisis. And I think there's definitely opportunity there. I think it's just forcing collaboration. It's going to have to sponsor collaboration to solve this issue because it's large, it's institutional, and it's going to take more than just having developments and building housing. It's going to take real work within the community, understanding what the community needs, what the area needs, and what's possible.
Yeah, completely agree. They did mention over at the LABC, the housing conference, the notion of forced collaboration, right? And the other events that I've been to, there's a lot of issues surrounding these recent fires and whatnot, but it's a matter of collaboration in anything that you do, in business and in whatnot. So it's crazy the world that we live in, but it's the matter of, just getting the ideas that we have, getting the future and pulling it into now. So that's where we're at. And in terms of the kind of world that we want to help build, you guys. So we have like these big visions and these big goals, but then you can ask like, okay, like what do you guys exactly want to accomplish? So we want to be more equitable. Like your zip code, it doesn't determine your future, you guys. Like me and my parents, like we essentially came from nothing. And, DJ as well, it's like your zip code, like where you come from, like you can accomplish anything in this world, you guys. It's just a matter of actually going out and doing it. Easier said than done, especially when it comes to the development industry, but it's all possible. It's all accomplishable. People have done it and we're doing it now. So that's amazing. And sustainability too, where long-term ROI includes carbon, health, and happiness. As I said before, we want to build projects that are also sustainable and innovative at the same time. There is a gap in the market for that. And we just want to fill that space and help the world, you guys, because, there's all these climate change issues that we're facing, and how do we help that from a real estate perspective starting off, right? We need to be building these projects that are going to be energy efficient, sustainable, and whatnot in order to help with the climate issues that we're facing all across the world, not just in the US and not just in areas like Los Angeles, which of course we need, but I want to let DJ talk about the empowerment and using real estate as a tool for freedom, because I know he's really, really big on that.
Yeah. So I really want to empower young people, especially those with entrepreneurship goals, from backgrounds similar to ours and globally, honestly, to just talk and have a space where we can talk about how we want to chase our goals, create a mentorship and a community that helps each other, that sponsors each other, and that can serve one another and continue to give back, create a cycle that's giving back to underserved communities where one another comes from. And I think also using this real estate as a tool for freedom and community impact. I know obviously, like Zeus has mentioned before today, a lot about kind of the returns that people look for in real estate. And, that's key. It's not that you can't have that, but I think understanding that there's only so much land in this world. There's not, as we know, like there's not going to be land built in our lifetime or created. So understanding that real estate needs to be equitable, there needs to be adequate housing for underserved communities and for those people in our communities that do a lot of the hard work that a lot of us don't want to do. Our construction workers, our laborers, our janitors, they deserve healthy, safe, and affordable communities. Understanding that real estate can be this freedom and can be a community impact tool is really key for us.
Completely agree. So now that we've mentioned like our vision, like what we want to do, what we want to create, and what we want to be known for, I just want to have like this conversation with DJ as to like how we really bonded, like how we found real estate, and just so you guys could get to know a little bit more about us and where we want to go from here. So this is going to be more just like a regular conversation, and let's just start it off. So how did you and I first meet?
I think our first encounter was, so if you guys know a little bit about high school basketball, you have like the summer practices. Zeus is a year older than me, so I came in as a freshman. I came to like one of the first summer workouts. So it's like, I guess for a freshman, it's like almost kind of a tryout period for us, but like not official. So it's summer. A lot of it is just like skill workouts, shooting, ball handling, and all that. And I remember I saw Zeus like the first practice or so, but at one point, like Zeus came into practice and he was injured, right? And so everybody's like, that was older, that knew Zeus was like, Zeus, what happened? And he said, I tried to dunk on a mini hoop and he fell and injured himself. And I was like, and I was just like, well, like, how are you injuring yourself on a mini hoop trying to dunk? And I was just like, this guy is just goofy. Like, I can't believe like he injured himself dunking. And I think, he was a shooter in high school. He had great corner shot. I'm a passer, pass first player. Immediately was trying to get him the ball in the corner. And I think he was just a real genuine guy. Like, he was fun. He enjoyed hooping. And everybody in that space where we were at in high school were just great people. The coaching staff was great. And I think Zeus was just a great guy to be around. And, I think we really started to connect in my sophomore year, his junior year. I think we had a couple classes together, but
we did. Yeah.
I can't remember exactly, but I remember the biggest class, I think, where we really, strongholded our connection was my junior year, his senior year. We were pretty successful as a basketball team. We had a pre-calculus class together, which was hard. And I think just being able to have a really good team, make a state championship run, I think that just bonded us together. And I think it really bonded the whole team together as well. But I think me and Zeus kind of, sharing a similar passion. My mom was also a college counselor there at the time, and she was his college counselor. Yeah. And she just got to know him and the family. And I think we kind of just bonded over being from a sort of similar background and, having the same passion. I just really respected his values and his family and where he comes from.
Yeah. Yeah. So DJ, I do appreciate that. And I have a funny story to share. So I remember when we were doing tryouts for basketball, I think DJ was one of the last guys to find out. And I went before him. And then I remember a coach, he told me XYZ happened, but then I went over to DJ and I told him bro, you didn't make the cut. And then he got really, really scared and was stressed out. But then I told him I was just kidding. So no, just besides that, DJ and I, we have known each other, I said, for a long time, and a lot of same alignment and values. And we got really close in math class. And then that was my senior year. He obviously helped me a lot. His family helped me a lot. His mom too. She is a great individual, and she's inspired me a lot by everything that she does and everything that she says.
Shout out moms.
Yeah, definitely. So then came my freshman year here at UCLA. It was a movie for sure, and I learned a lot. It was a great time that I had. So once I found out that DJ needed some help deciding between USC and UCLA, he came over, and then I told him why UCLA was going to be the better option, because most entrepreneurs come from UCLA, believe it or not. You can look at Meg Epstein, who is a big real estate developer, Charlie Chang, and others who have left a huge impact on the world. A lot of them come from UCLA, and then obviously the name is it's better, and I don't know, UCLA is the quote unquote better school in my opinion. And the fact that DJ was able to come to UCLA and we both came from the same high school, I was like, oh shoot, this is crazy. no way I'm going to have my homie here. And like, I'm going to have like one of my best friends here at UCLA. So we bonded a lot. I remember we always used to have these chats at B Plate, which is our restaurant at UCLA, my sophomore year, his freshman year, where I would just give him guidance, help him out. Like, yeah, like this is what happened. Like do this. We bonded a lot. And then this year started. And I remember we had conversation at the start of the year where we just talked about where we wanted to be, like what we want to do. And then at the start of winter quarter, we had a really, really deep conversation as to like what we wanted to do. DJ invited me over to this one tea shop, I think in Culver City. Mm-hmm. And if you remember that day.
I do.
Yeah, that was January 3rd, I believe, and 2025. And it was great. We got to know more about each other. And I just told him like, yeah, bro, like I value you, who you are as a person. And like, you're in my inner circle. And like, I do appreciate you for everything that you do. Like your constant support, like your texts, like that's something that a partner has to give to someone else, because like both being young individuals and where we want to be, what we're doing now, the amount of classes that we're taking, the amount of work that we're doing, and still being the best version of ourselves for our loved ones and for ourselves, it's no easy task at all. And I think it all stems back to brotherhood. As I said, we have an alignment in values, but it's more than that. It feels like it's a true brotherhood because we can help each other. We're there for each other. And that's what you need in a business partnership. You need to have someone that you can trust and is going to be there for you. And I'm fortunate enough to say that I found someone who is on the same level as me, and we have the same passion, the same hunger, and the same energy to help give back to our communities, leave a legacy, and be known as someone who left a change in this world. So that's amazing.
Thank you, man. Yeah, of course. Zeus, I kind of feel this. I feel the same way. I really was just impressed by him. He was such a mentor, and he helped. Like I wouldn't be anywhere near close to where I'm at now without Zeus. My academic, or professional, and social life, I would be nowhere. Honestly, I feel like without Zeus, he gave me so much great guidance, so much great feedback, connected me with so many great people. And I think, yeah, that chat we had in Culver City, it really just showed me that the path that Zeus was on was one of leadership and one of innovation. And it was just super inspirational. And I realized, and he kind of just told me that I have the potential to do something great as well. And I think sometimes, coming from, a humble beginning, I think can lead you to not necessarily believe in yourself as much as you would like. And Zeus really fostered that growth in me. He would always consistently text me, to keep grinding, keep going hard. And there was a lot of days, a lot of texts that Zeus sent were like, he was the reason I really decided to go hard that day. There's a lot of long days, which when you're in college, a lot of long study nights, still trying to maintain your health, working out and things like that. And I think he just was somebody that I could depend on, somebody that I knew was looking out for the best in me. And I like to keep a small circle, and Zeus was that one person in there that continuously, since we've been together in high school, just kept inspiring me and kept pushing me to be better.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
and I think,
so amazing.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I think that's the reason why I feel like a partnership with Zeus was just something that I'm really looking forward to, and I'm glad that we've started, because that dependability that he has, that hunger, that drive, and even, we continuously push each other. When one of us needs that extra push, we're always there holding each other accountable.
Yeah.
And that level of partnership and understanding that we can hold each other accountable without taking things personally is key to driving a good business.
That's right. And look, the approach that we're following is one from people who've been successful. So it's like, how do we emulate those who have built things, who have left a legacy in the world and have done change? And a lot of it stems from partnerships and doing what we're doing. So I'm just appreciative of DJ in that sense. So DJ, I just want to ask you, like, what got you into real estate? Like you already mentioned before, but if you could just expand on it more.
Yeah. So, like I said, like those first shows kind of gave me that little spark. But for me, I really, as I was kind of journeying, when you're in college, you try to join clubs, try to really start networking. And I think for me, I wasn't finding a huge passion initially when I was kind of into that investment banking world a little bit. It's no shot. But I think for me, it wasn't my best fit. I maybe wasn't as skilled in that profession as I needed to be. And I think I just didn't feel like it was serving my community. I feel like I've always had a passion for serving my community. My mom, obviously, she's a college counselor. She loves helping people. She was a first gen college student. I think her passion for being a counselor is, helping first gens. My dad also, being a police officer, he's enjoyed really helping people in the community and connecting with those in his community, especially, just from everything that's been happening. And I think just seeing my family continuously be passionate about helping others, I think subconsciously was always in my mind, and I was searching for ways to help my community. And I think understanding that I still love finance, I love the numbers, and I decided that real estate was a way that I can combine some numbers with something that's key in our community, and it's housing. And being from the Bay Area and understanding that, I used to see like San Francisco's rent was like crazy high. I had to be like, how can people afford to live there that are, working regular jobs? And that was just always a question that was just persistent in my mind. And when I realized that, well, there's jobs in real estate, in development, that we can create or recreate housing, recreate centers for community development, recreate centers for like healthy grocery stores where there's food deserts. Understanding that real estate can be creative and it can be anything that can eventually help the community is something that really inspired me.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, that's amazing. DJ recapped it perfectly. The way I got into real estate, as I said, it was back during the GFC crisis, and obviously that helped a lot, but then it's really seeing the impact and the change that we can leave on this world. Like for me, the biggest thing that I want to accomplish in life and be known for is to just be an inspiration for others. And I found real estate, or you could say real estate found me, but it's like, how do I use this platform, this real estate, this thing in this world, and use it for purpose-driven developments, basically? Because you can use real estate as a way to get money. You could go across all these different avenues, such as wholesaling, fix and flips, Airbnb. But is that truly going to leave an impact and a legacy in this world? You're going to help your family, but you're not going to be doing something that's going to help others. So then it's like, how do we use real estate as a platform and segment to leave an impact on the world? And that's where development comes in. As DJ mentioned, we can create affordable housing, sustainable developments, mixed use projects that all are going to be purpose-driven and impact-driven and help the communities in different ways, while also at the same time being innovative, because LA is at the forefront of innovation, you guys. When it comes to these startups, the aerospace industry, the deep tech industry, renewable energy and whatnot, we can't be left behind. And it's like, how do we use new innovation to bring it to an old industry while also being purpose-driven and community-oriented at the same time? There is a gap in the market for that. That's where we're going to be. But we first need to become experts in one field, which is going to be development, and then obviously scale up from there. So it's going to be exciting for sure.
Yeah, I think definitely just developing our expertise. We have time to learn. We have time to grow. We're looking for people that can really help guide us in the proper direction. People that are seasoned in this development industry and the real estate industry as a whole. And even in the finance industry, the private sectors, because private markets are key, I think, to proper financing, especially in the affordable housing market, which we got to learn. The private market's going to be key, and understanding that we want to develop great relationships with all these people to create a system that's going to be able to really uphold our business and create a great system that we can give back to our community by.
That's amazing. Yeah. So DJ, I just want to ask you like just some rapid fire questions, and then we'll end this off. We'll end it off by saying like what legacy we want to leave in this world, but just some rapid fire questions. Now it's like, what is your favorite book?
My favorite book is the first spiritual book I ever read, called The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle.
That's amazing. Yeah. What has been the scariest moment in your life?
Oh, the scariest moment. I would say probably failing my first class. Yeah, that's pretty scary.
Yeah. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
In 10 years, I see me being somebody that's making great impact to my community in the Infinity One group, us having a great development company, and hopefully starting to expand out into other ventures.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's cool. And what advice would you give to other people who are in their early 20s, people who are in college, and people who want to leave an impact on the world and make a change for themselves, but they're just scared to take the risk? Because when I'm telling you entrepreneurship, it's the scariest thing, but what is one piece of advice that you would give to them?
I think one piece of advice would be just bet on yourself. Trust in the work that you're going to do. If you know that you're putting in hard work, you put in the effort, I think if you continuously do that consistently, it's going to come to fruition. Trust yourself and be able to understand that it starts somewhere.
Yeah. We need to start somewhere. We all need to start somewhere. Nothing ever gets built, if you don't start somewhere. So that's amazing that you said that. I do want to thank everyone for listening to this episode, and it's going to be amazing. It's going to be a journey. We have big goals, big ambitions. We want to create change, be innovators, be people who leave a legacy on this world, and ultimately be remembered, not just for what we built, but for the fact that we were able to help others and truly, truly, truly leave an impact on our community. So that is where Infinity One stems from, but we're first starting it off with Infinity Development and going all in on the development industry. It's going to be a fun ride, but
yeah, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be super just innovative, crazy. It's going to be a long road ahead of us.
Definitely.
Thank you, Zeus, for,
of course,
having us start this podcast, and just excited to continue with more episodes. I hope everybody stays in tune.
Yeah. Amazing. Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Of course.
Infinity.
Yes, sir.